So welcome to another session on your stored procedures. Now we are going to discuss what is meant by stored procedures in your MySQL. Okay. So generally in your C programming language and Java programming language, you people already have an idea about your methods and functions. What is method or function? Nothing but to perform some particular task, right? So making your program execution very easier, right? How it making easier means the code usability is the one answer for that thing. Means it reducing your time and space complexities, right? The same thing here is going to happen. Now, just it's one type of alternative version of your views. We already discussed in the topic called joins, views, and union or what is meant by views, why you are using views. We know the advantages of views. Now let's see what's the use of your stored procedures and why we need to use our stored procedures. For that example, okay, just what I'm going to take means let's take one simple example. Right now, try to check. I want to update for Hyderabad location people, I need to update the salary with 5,000. Now, what I'm going to do generally means, so I'm going to do like this, update, what's my table name? My table name will be customers, set C salary equal to your existing salary plus 5,000 increment or bonus. So where C location equal to your Hyderabad, where C location equal to Hyderabad city. Now, once updating, now what I'm trying to do means try to check before here. Previously it's 20,000, 18,000 and 12,000 and 12,000 only. Now what I'm trying to do means now I just want to select start from customers, select start from customers, try to execute it. Now previously it was 20,000 and it was what some 5,000, 17,000. Now see, previously it was 12,000, it becomes 17,000. Again it is 12,000 from 17 it became like that we can perform update operation. Now I want to update for both Bangalore and Hyderabad people as a 5,000 rupees increment. I need to update it. So generally what we can do means update. Okay, can we do like this? Try to check it. Update. So what I'm doing means update your customers table. So customers, so set CSAL equal to 5,000. For Hyderabad people, I need to increment 5,000, whereas for Bangalore people, I need to increment as 4,000. Now there's a different parameter now. So I want to write like this: set CSAL equal to 5,000 and set CSAL equal to 4,000, where C location, can we write like this? C location present in Hyderabad and Bangalore, BANG, BANG. So it is not supporting now. Now if I'm going to write, it is not supporting. Okay, we'll go with another alternative. It's going to support. See what I'm going to do means where C location equal to Hyderabad and C location equal to Bangalore. C location equal to Bangalore. Even though it is not performing, right? Even though it is not performing, we can't perform it. We can't perform multiple updations at a time. We can't perform multiple updations at a time. Got it. Now for that, what we need to learn means now we need to learn some procedural language, a simple procedural language. Okay, it will be very easy. Now what is meant by your procedural language means, okay, see now what I'm trying to do means procedure is what, why we need to use procedures. We need to use for recalling reusability for n number of times, right? Now we'll create some procedure. Okay, what I'm going to do means call, nothing, sorry, create procedure, procedure procedure name. I'm calling as a procedure name as a P1 method name. Okay. Now you need to begin your query. Begin. Now again I'm writing. Suppose I just want to save this as select a star from customers in P1. So select a star from customers. Okay. Now whenever you're giving semicolon, what is happening now? Try to check. It is executing your program. So means I can't perform multiple queries at a time. I can't perform multiple queries at a time. So why? Because whenever I use a semicolon, what happen? It is delimiter. It will execute your code. Now I'm going to change my delimiter. Now I'm going to change my delimiter. Now right now, whenever I'm going to use the slash, then only the program will execute it. So that is your slash. I'm giving delimiter. Now see, again I'm writing create. So procedure one. Okay. So begin. I'm using select a star from customers. Select a star from customers. Try to check it. Select a star from customers. Now there is no problem, right? Now end your query section. End your section. Now slash. Okay. it is executed. Now try to calling a function. How you call? Generally call in Java, C, right? Now call your method, your function, and use your delimiter. Okay. Now it is executing. It is executing. So that is one query, right? For one query, no need of using your again procedures. I want to execute 3 queries at a time. I want to execute 2 or 3 queries at a time. So for that, what I will do means I will create some procedure, some P2, create procedure name. Okay, I'm beginning my section. Select what I'm trying to find out. Select max of C salary from customers. Select max of C salary from customers is one query. Again, I'm writing select minimum of C salary from customers. That is one query. Select again, I can do average of C sal from customers. Now what I'm doing means I am packing this bunch of queries in a name called P2. I am packing this bunch of queries in a name called N. Okay, P2. Now whenever I'm going to call my procedure, so whenever I'm going to call my procedure, try to check is it possible or not. Whenever I'm going to call my procedure, is it possible or not? See. So bunch of queries executed at a time, right? Here we are saving our time, right? Suppose if we want to execute hundreds and thousands of queries at a time. So let us imagine our company is giving some salary. Yeah, let us imagine our agent is S Bank. Now I want to increase. Suppose for every customer I need to add 100 rupees. So I can't perform different 100 operations, right? Now what I will do, I will update at a once. I will update at a once. Okay. Now same thing. We'll see the above example. We are unable to update all the multiple constraints at a time, right? Okay, now what I will do means, so write a query again. See, we'll do what means, for Hyderabad people will increment with 5,000, for Bangalore people will increment by 6,000, for Chennai people will increment by 7,000. Before that, we'll see the spells of your location. Select C sal from customers, select C sal from customers, sorry, C location, so that I can see what locations I'm using. C location from customers. Ignore my typo mistakes. Okay, these are my different. Okay, if you want to see the distinct locations, what you can do, select distinct C locations from customers. That is the one. Now we are having Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai. Now let's see. We'll perform updation for at least for 3 to 5, at least 4 cities at a once. Okay, at least. So what I will do means create procedure name, create procedure name. Let's take my procedure name is P4. Okay. Now I'm beginning my section. Now what I'm doing means update. So update which table? Customers. What I need to set? Their salaries. I need to update it, right? Nothing but C sal equal to C sal plus for Hyderabad we'll go with 5,000. Okay. 5,000. Where what I need to do? Where C location equal to Hyderabad. That is one query. Again, try to perform. Let's go with Bangalore for 6,000. 6,000. So what I'm doing means, see, this is your, what is it? Let's go with Bangalore. And again, go with this thing. Update, sorry, we can write same thing, right? So C salary equal to 7,000. Where C salary equal to Delhi. Again, you can update customers. You can go with 8,000 like that. It's your patience. We have to write each and everything. Okay, that's a matter. So that's the role of your databases. You have to do it. Again, I'm going with a Pune. Okay, like that, your patience matter. Now again, I'm ending my bunch of queries. So afterward, I'm going to slash. I'm nothing but I'm ending my section. I'm executing now. So whenever it is done, before that, first of all, I'm not calling my queries now. First, we'll check the salaries. Select stall from customers. Now see Hyderabad 25, 23. Okay, this is the table. Now we'll call our procedure. What is my procedure name? My procedure name is, I hope so it's P4. My procedure name is P4. And try to execute it. And now select star from customers. Try to check whether we have updated or not. Whether it is updated at a time or not. Customers. See, previously 25,000, 23,000, Bangalore some 21,000, 20,000 to 26,000. You can check it, the varies. You can check the differences. So check what the differences here. Okay. Now try to check what the differences here. Fine. So it's updated, right? So it's updated. Like that, we can perform your stored procedures, right? Like that, we can perform our stored procedures. Now let's see learn what is meant by advantages of stored procedures. Before going to advantages of stored procedures, we need to learn types of stored procedures. We need to learn types of stored procedures. The first one, stored procedure without no arguments, nothing but default procedure. Okay, just stored procedure. Ignore my typo mistakes. Stored procedure with no arguments. No arguments. The above example is for you, no arguments only right now. Stored procedures, nothing but procedures with input arguments. Procedures with input arguments. Procedures with input arguments. In C, you are having function with argument with return type, function without arguments, without like 4 classifications, right? Like that here also we are having like this. So again, third one, your procedure with output arguments. Output arguments. Next one, your last one, procedure with both input and output arguments, both in and out arguments, both in and out arguments. Okay, so that is all about your joins. That is all about your procedures. That is all about your procedures. Okay, so like this, we're having 4 types of stored procedures, right? Now we already discussed this type of stored procedure. Now we need to discuss what is the procedure with input arguments, procedure with output arguments, and procedure with both in and output arguments. Okay. So we'll see one simple example. So generally, how we can find out this thing? Suppose generally select star from, what I can do, select star from customers limit 5. Okay. So this is my delimiter, right? Now I'm getting first top 5, right? Top 5 rows. Suppose one user want to have only top 4 rows. He want to have one user want to have only top 2 rows, right? Now, why should we can't give this as a variable now? Now I want to use as that my input argument. Now sometime I can give 5, 6, 7. So whenever I give my input, it need to give that much of rows. It need to give that much of rows. Now I will create my own stored procedure now, my function. So create procedure name. Let's take this is P5. This is what type of procedure? Input procedure. Now I need to give my variable. So variable, your integer data type. Next, begin your section. So next, what you need to do? Select star from customers. So limit. Previously, what I have given directly limit 5 or limit 4 or limit. Now I need to pass my variable. So limit variable. Okay. Now end it and execute it. Now again, try to call your procedure. Call P5. So P5. Now here I need to pass my input. Here I am going to pass my input. Okay, 5. Now again, you can call, you can check it. Now how much time saving it is. It's good, right? Instead of that legacy thing, this is good. So like that we can do it, right? Like that we can do it. So that is your one type of stored procedure, nothing but procedure with input arguments. Procedure with input arguments. You can use multiple inputs also. You can use multiple inputs also. Let's take one example. What's the thing is, suppose I want to find out like this. Select star from customers where C salary greater than or equal to 18,000 and C salary less than or equal to 40,000. 40,000. You can do like this. Execute your query. Now this many rows are printing, right? This many rows. Now here I am passing 2 inputs, right? One is 18,000, another one is 40,000. Now let's take in same procedural format how to do it. So create. So this is your P6 procedure name with 2 input arguments, right? So nothing but in. So after that in, what you can do means you can use your variables, variable So let's take a variable one or variable input, another variable also, suppose variable one. Now I need to pass two variables, integer, two variable integers I'm going to need to pass it. Okay. Next, begin. Here, instead of this thing, now what I will do means less than or equal to first variable. Here, instead of second thing, what I will use means 40th one, I will use my variable one. Now try to your semicolon and slash, executing your things. Now what you need to do, now you need to pass your query. So nothing but call P6. P6 of what you need to do means you need to pass your, what we have checked previously, we have checked some 18,000, comma 40,000. Just try to check it. Now these are like this, we can perform it. Like this, we can perform it. This is your procedure with multiple input arguments. Like that, you can go on, man. So just go on. You can perform 3 inputs, 4 inputs, 5. According to your business queries, you can perform it. So that is your procedure with input arguments. Procedure with input arguments. Now let's go with what is meant by procedure with output arguments. Procedure with output arguments. So generally, in order to go for procedure with output arguments, now what I am going to do means we'll take before a simple thing. What I can do is means select if perform like this. Select a count of CID from customers. Now how many IDs are there? I need to check it. That's it. I need to check it. So how many IDs are there? 15. This is my output, right? Now I want to save this output in my own variable. Now I just like in Java, C int result equal to a plus b, like that I want to save now my output in some variable. I need to save my output in my some variable. So for that, what I'm going to do means try to check it now. Okay, select. So what you can do, so sorry, procedure, you need to create procedure first of all. So create procedure name P7. So with output argument, right now your variable integer. Your output is of what type here? Your output is of integer type, right? Your output is of integer type. Okay. So next, begin. Next, select. So that's thing only. Select C of count. Okay. Now whatever result need to become, right, will save into your respective variable. Your respective variable from customers. From customers. End your query. End your procedure. Next, execute your procedure. Okay. Now again you can use call your thing. Here calling means again you can't do like this now. Whenever you call like this, it won't execute now, dear. So here you need to give your formal variable, means temporary variable. So it need to be stored at the rate. So it need address we are passing. It need to be stored in this specific memory address, whatever M or N or something, whatever the variable. So after that, now select your formal variable, call your formal variable at the rate M as output, or you can do variable, anything. Now what is, it is 15, right? The same thing. If you observe here, the same thing I'm doing in this procedural manner. So that one is easy one only. But if you want to perform multiple queries, multiple outputs, you want to check it, this will be better. If you want to perform multiple queries at a time, this will be a better option for you people to go with procedure with output arguments. Just try to check how to go with procedure with multiple arguments, multiple output arguments. Just try to have an idea about that. Okay, now let's discuss the final one. What is meant by procedure with both in and out variables? How to use both in and out variables? So generally, we'll take one simple example. Select max of CSAL from customers. That is one query. Select, I can give as min of CSAL from customers. Ignore my typo mistakes. Customers. Okay, that is your minimum, right? I have written spell mistake here. That is cust. Okay, so that is your max salary is 56,000. Min salary is your 10,000, my dear buddies. Now what I'm going to do means try to check how I can write. Okay, I can write create procedure, procedure name. My procedure name will be your some P7 or P8. Okay. So what I'm going to do means I need to use now both. Okay. So maximum salary output queries, right? Okay. First we'll check with the here. Let's we discuss with. Okay. Fine. We'll go with the same thing. How to store your output queries. Out. One is your variable one integer. Another one out. Can we write? If I'm going to write like this, just let me check this is true or false. Okay. Now begin. What you can do means select. So what you can do, max of C salary into your output variable called variable one, and as well as min of salary C sal into variable two from customers, okay, semicolon end slash. So this is not correct type. Let's see. This is not correct type. Can we do like this for output? Suppose if I'm not going to write like this, try to check. I'm checking alternative ways for you people. This is wrong statement, completely wrong statement. Fine, sorry for interruption. This is completely wrong. Because I haven't begin the statement. I haven't begin. And this is also not. See what I have done a mistake, try to check. So max is salary into variable comma. That is blunder mistake I have done. Try to check it. Min C sal into variable 2. So is it false? No, we can't do like this. Try to check it. We can't do like this. So what is alternative way means? Try to check it. Okay. This begin. Okay. I'm checking alternative ways of your small money. Here I'm doing mistakes only. Don't worry. The mistakes, you need to check the syntaxes because you're not going to practice all those things. Right? Just check what are the possibilities because interview will ask. So select max of C sal into, okay, check it. Select max C sal into variable one from customers, again min C sal into variable two from customers. Now is it wrong? Try to check. So this is correct for output. Now do check your outputs. Now how to call your procedure call, how to P8. Now use some dummy variables. One is for max, another one is for minimum, right? Use max and use minimum. Again call, select at the rate some formal variable, temporary variable. You can take any variable here. Comma at the rate min. Try to check. Is it possible to check like this? Yes. It's not right now. Try to check. No. So it's not possible here to checking all those things, right? Try to. So fine. What the mistakes we are doing there means the mistake is we need to create procedure in this manner. Create procedure name. We'll go with. Now I need to have two output arguments. One output as variable one of integer type. Another out as, this is the correct way to do. Another output as out variable two. Okay. So after that, now I need to begin my section. So begin. So afterwards, now I can't write like this. Select max of C salary into, what is your first variable? Variable one. Again, now I can't write like this, min of csal into variable 2. If you're going to write like this, it will leads to error. Okay. So in your into statement should be one statement here right now in your single select statement, variable 1 from which table name? From customers. Next, again try to have your minimum. Like this, you need to use bunch of things. Minimum of C salary from customers into your variable 2. Your result need to be stored in variable 2. So after this, end execute. So again, we have done simple mistake, variable 1 from customers, variable 2 from customers 2. So what mistake I have done, let me check it. Create procedure, procedure name, out variable 1, int, begin select max of salary. See salary, what mistake might have done, try to check it. So what mistake I have done? Yeah, blunder mistake. I haven't given the what type, variable t is of what type, it's integer type, right? So you have to give it here. Okay. Int, again begin, okay, and slash. Now executed. Now how to call? So call, what's the procedure name? P10. So use your dummy variables addresses, nothing but formal variables, as one is max, another one as minimum. Okay, now execute your query. Now again select it in order to check the result. At the rate m, you can give as alias name as max salary, comma at the rate n will store your minimum salary as you can give your alias name. Okay. Now like that we are getting, see how we are doing means we are doing like this. So fine, this is procedure with multiple output arguments. This is procedure with multiple output arguments. Now let's go with the final one, how to use both input and output arguments. How to use both in and out arguments. How to use both in and out arguments. Okay, we'll take with one example. Same we have done with the max salary, right? We'll do in this manner only. Select a max of C salary. Okay, max of C salary from customers where C location equal to Hyderabad. C location equal to Hyderabad. Okay. Now, if you observe it, dear, say I have to give like this, right? So here, what I am giving Hyderabad as a input, and I am getting output as a max of C salary, right? Nothing but combination of both input and output, right? Combination of both in and out. So for that, how I am going to use means try to check it here. For that, how I am going to use, try to check it. Just check it. How I am going to do it. Create procedure name. Let's go with P11. So we are using both combination of in out, right? Both combination of your in out. Okay. So now I want to have my, for this max salary, I need to output variable. So after in out, you need to have your input variable here, nothing but your output variable. So this is your maximum salary. I will give as this maxima or max salary like this. That is which data type? Integer data type. Now again, you want to use your input. So use in. So what is your location here? Nothing but go with your second variable. Nothing but have your dummy variable called city. City of which data type? Varchar data type. Varchar data type. Like that, try to have nothing but this is combination both in and out. This is your output variable and this will be your input variable. This will be your input variable. So begin your query. Next again perform like this. Select. Okay, what I can do, select, suppose simple thing, select max of CSAL, max of CSAL from, sorry, I need to store max of CSAL into which variable? Output variable, max sal variable, right? Max sal from customers table, from customers where C location equal to the city which you are going to pass during your runtime. Okay, where C location equal to your city. End it. Now execute it. So again, I have done mistake. Maybe I have written something spell mistake only. So need to check it. Don't worry. We'll check the spell mistake only. Yeah, we might have written some spell. So what's the mistake? The spell mistake I have written right into. Into max of, okay, and execute. Fine. So after that, now try to call procedure of your, what is your procedure P11. P11 of what you need to use, what you need to pass first output argument, nothing but it need to be stored in your dummy formal variable, and you need to pass your input argument. Your input argument now I am passing as Hyderabad. I want to find out Hyderabad. Now I need to check, let us imagine there are 4 people from Hyderabad are there. I need to find out whose maximum salary. In out of that 4 candidate, what's the maximum salary? Okay. Next, like that, what I need to do? Select at the rate M. So 30,000 is a maximum salary for Hyderabad group location people. For Hyderabad group location people. Now check it. Is it true or false? Select a star from. So customers slash. Okay, check Hyderabad. One is 28 and 30. Another one is 22. Another one is also 22. Obviously 30,000 is a maximum salary, right? Like that we can perform both in and out operations. Both in and out operations of your procedure. Like that we can use multiple in and multiple out. Let's take one more example, how to use multiple in and out statements. How to use multiple, okay. Same, I will differ with small example. Same thing. Now you are familiar with this thing, right? I will use same thing. Just give me 1 minute. So like that I am using int, okay. Now again I want to use one more output variable. Again I want to use one more output variable. For that I will write like this, in out. So in this in out, I will take some total salary of which data type, integer data type, of which data type, integer data type. Now I'm calling as P12. I'm calling as a P12. I'm calling as a P12. Just create procedure name P12, in out of max salary, integer. Again I am finding in out total. Nothing but total 2 output arguments are there and 1 input argument is there. 1 input argument is there. Now let's check it. So now what I want to find out means, previously what I have find out for Hyderabad location, what is the maximum salary. Now I want to find out, so what is the maximum salary, and as well as what is the total salary, what is the total sum of salary, what is the total sum of salary. So for that, how I am going to do means, give me 1 minute so that you can understand better. So begin, so select the previous one only, max of C sal, spell into max sal from customers, where your C location equal to your passing information called city. Again, select sum of C sal into total sal from customers, where C location equal to your given city. Okay, check it. Again, end, close it. So I might have done in city variable 10. Just give me 1 minute so I can resolve it simply. So have you checked the mistake? The mistake is I have forgotten to give comma. Okay. So after total salary, I have forgotten to give comma. Just check it. So we'll write it again. I have to write it, right? It's blended. So if I use workbench, I can go very fast. This is not your workbench. This is your what? So this is your MySQL. So it might take some query. So after what I need to do, I just want to, after your integer. So here I need to give comma, right? Here. So after your integer, I need to give comma. I need to give comma. So then everything is fine. We'll check it here. Don't worry. If any mistakes also, we can do it, right? And okay, good. So finally, Now again, what I need to do, I need to call, right? How I need to call? What is your procedure name? Procedure name is P12. You need to get two input or you need to get two output arguments, right? One is what max salary. So you can use dummy variable at max salary, whatever variable. And one is you need to get some salary, sum of all salaries. Next, you need to pass your location. Input you need to pass. You need to pass your input. Okay. So after that, again try to check. Select a star from, not star, sorry. Select @max sal as well as @sum sal. Okay. Now max sal is 30,000 and whereas 1,20,000. Now just what I am going to do means try to call your method. Select star. So obviously maximum salary is 20,000. 20,000 plus 28,000, 58,000. 58,000 plus 22,000. What happened? It will be 80,000. So check it. So again 22,000. Again Hyderabad. How many Hyderabad's are there? This is also one Hyderabad. Sum of salaries 22, 22, 44, right? So 44 plus 58. 44 plus 58. Just do it. What is 44 plus 58? 1,02,000. 1,02,000. So like that we are performing procedures. Like that we are performing procedures now. Check it. So this is all about your procedures. Please do remember. It's easy, right? Just remember how I'm performing all the operations of your procedures. So this is about your stored procedures. This is about your stored procedures.